guys, we're going to go through, we're going to talk about the roadmap because there has been an update and it's actually quite a good update. They've added a lot to the 3.10 and they've also added a fair bit to the 3.11. We're going to go through, we're going to break it down, we're going to give you my view on when I'm expecting it to come out. Or if you were just in Cobra's Twitch chat, you probably heard anyway. But let's jump into it and let's start with the roadmap. So here's the roadmap update that they've put out. So, notable changes for the 5th of June 2020. Lost System version 2 surrender. This task and card rework required the AI team due to other works longer taking expected. The AI team will not be able to get into the needed work on the surrender by the 3.10 cutoff. So we've shifted the card to 3.11. But there's some good news. NPC improvements bartender. This card has been returned to the RPU roadmap under the 3.10 column. Improvements to the bartender AI architects include additional interactions for players as well as other NPCs. This include passages for animation and audio. That's not what I'm talking about for the good news, for the lore system. So, for the lore system, I'll talk about that in a sec. Let's go through the rest of them. So, turret and gunnery improvements. So, new controls and function UI will be added to turrets, fix weapons on ships and turrets, get more computer assistance, which will make it visible choices, especially for multi-crew. Additionally, twerks to pip calculations, improvement, and the stability of hit targets in all aiming modes. Electron damage, distortion and stun damage. Hits by an electron projectile will retain a charge for a brief amount of time. A hit again of judged damage in the area. And Lore System 2. Now this is the thing that's the good news when it comes to Lore System surrender. Improvements in impounding or impounding improvements. Improvements have been developed so that the infractions that have been different fines and durations, allowing light penalties for blocking pads versus harsh penalties for pad ramming. Players lingering over pad areas without permission will now see a countdown timer warning them of imminent impoundment should they not withdraw. We will talk a bit about this in a sec, but yeah. And also we have the Intergalactic P-72 Archimedes Emerald, building, balancing, and improving Kruger's Snubcraft into the game. Now, the following cards have also been added to the 3.11 column. The Origin 100i, building improvements and balancing of the Origin 100i as flight-ready ship. The Origin 125A, building improvements and balancing of the Origin 125 as a flight-ready ship, and the Origin 135C, building improvements and balancing to the Origin 135C as a flight-ready ship. The following cards have moved into polishing phase. M50 improvements, restricted area rework, Kruger P-72 Archimedes Emerald, the thruster effects, curves, and aerodynamics, and high-speed combat. So, just quickly touching on this whole law and order system, it looks like they weren't able to get the surrender part done because the AI team was needed for, obviously, for Squadron 42 and for the PU. They had a lot of AI work that had to be done, so I'm not really complaining about that. I would much prefer to have the AI than I would then to have the law and order system surrender. But in exchange for not getting the surrender, we actually got the Law and Order System version 2, which is now improvements for impounding. So when you go through, if you don't have requests to land, you will get like a countdown timer that'll tell you how long before you get impounded. We've noticed the impounding lately has been a little weird around Port Al-Azhar, so we expected them to be working on an area. We expected them to be working on that, which obviously they have been. So this is good news, and I like the fact that they're actually doing that if they can't get this done. Oh, sorry, this done. So, not a bad thing. Kind of happy. We're losing one, but we're gaining something else that we need, which is kind of cool. So, what do we got for 3.10? Mission giver for Eddie Parr is now 39 out of 50. So that is pretty much done. You got to remember too, when we go through and when we talk about this, keep in mind it doesn't have to be 50 out of 50, okay? Because there are phases that have to be checked off once it's been tested. So once it's gone to Evocati, then they normally will add a few more phases. Like for example, the 890 jump when it was in development. You know, there was like 20 or 30 passes that had to be done. Some of those are just lighting passes. So don't be too discouraged with the whole 39 out of 50 for the mission giver. To be honest, I would say that's pretty much already ready to go. If not, it will be literally soon. So I think that's great. I think that we could probably check off, to be honest. New Beverage shop additions. We have 23 out of 27. I would say that is also pretty much ready to go. If it isn't already now, it will be shortly. Grim Hex improvements, 55 out of 68. I would say you're probably looking at a few left to do on that. I would say once that gets to around the 58 out of 68, or maybe even 60 out of 68, I would say that would be when it's ready to go. I would say they probably get that done fairly soon, so that I think is in really good shape as well. AI is polishing, FPS cover is polishing because obviously there's no lighting passes or anything that need to be done on that. Bartender improvements, 59 out of 75. So that is not too bad. I would say that's probably going to get done sooner. That could probably go into Evocati and then get added later. Lawrence system improvements for impounding, which is 6 out of 8, which is really good. Electron damage, 12 out of 13, which is good. Turret and gunnery improvements is 16 out of 25. Probably need a little bit of work on that, but it's getting there. Thruster effects, curves, and aerodynamics, it's polishing, which is really good. Elevator panel updates, which is 1 out of 6. That, to me, is not concerning, but it needs work. They need to focus on that. But those could be very easy to do, so they're not real worried about that. New targeting mythology, which is 14 out of 17, which is really good. Obviously, that's ready to go. 25 out of 28, body dragging, which is really good, probably ready to go. High-speed combat, which is polishing, which is obviously definitely ready to go. 32 out of 40 for ship HUD rework. So that's redesigning and rebuilding the ship HUD using our new building blocks tech. That I think is pretty much, if not now, will be ready to go soon. Restricted area rework, which is in polishing. Ship's Emerald, the Archimedes Emerald, which is in polishing. The M50 improvements, which is in polishing. The weapons, the Lightning Bolt Electron Sniper Rifle is 20 out of 25. Probably ready to go on that as well. The Gemini Ballistics is 20 out of 28. Probably needs a couple there, but should be fairly ready to go soon. 19 out of 26. Probably needs a couple to go. 1 or 2 to go, but probably ready to go for Evocati. Mass Driver Revision, 23 out of 30. Probably needs a couple to go, but generally fairly much done. Ocean Shader improvements and Height Map improvements. Ocean Shaders and polishing. Height Map is 13 out of 17. That I would say has probably got a couple to go, and yeah, probably apart from that, yeah, should be right. 3.10. When do I think it will be going to Evocati? What do we got? The 6th now? Next week will be the 8th. End of next week or the 15th of June. So I would say it would probably go to Evocati somewhere between the 12th to the 15th of June. That would be my guess, if not sooner. I would probably say that's probably the date range. 12th to the 15th is my range for when I would expect this to go to Evocati. That would then give them 1-2 weeks to get it in testing, and then another week for, obviously, for everybody else. Yeah, I would say probably the 12th to the 15th. I would see, you'll probably see it next weekend or the start of the weekend or the week after that. So, really soon, to be honest. But that, look, I don't work for CIG. This is just my educated guess. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments if you think I'm right. Now, apart from that, obviously 3.11, we have Space Station Refineries, which is scheduled. Space Station's Cargo Deck, which is 10 out of 23. AI, which is Ship AI Hazard Awareness and Avoidance, which is still listed as scheduled. FPS Combat Improvements and Polishing is scheduled. Gameplay, Improved Throw for Grenades is 15 out of 40. Object Push and Pull, which is scheduled. The Missile Operator Mode, which is scheduled. Docking, which is still scheduled. Death Animations Improvements is scheduled. Law and Order System Surrender, which is now 3 out of 6 because it got moved back. Ship and Vehicle Entries, which is the 100i, which is I believe, a starter ship, by the way, guys. Just want to say. 7 out of 25, and really good value too, from what I remember. The 125A for the Origin, which is implementing that, which is listed as scheduled. Origin 135C, which is still listed as scheduled. The Mercury Star Runner, which is still 9 out of 99. I would say they've probably done more to that. They just haven't updated the roadmap because that hasn't moved in a few weeks. FPS Greycat Multi-Tool Cutting Attachments is scheduled. The Grenade Launcher, which is 17 out of 31, which I say is not bad. It's definitely been made progress on. And the Server to Client Actor Network Rework, which is 1 out of 3, which we desperately need. CIG, please don't push this back anymore. So obviously 3.11 is coming out in quarter 3. It's still got ages to go yet, so I'm not worried about any of the stuff that's all listed as scheduled. But yeah, guys, this is the roadmap for now. I would say 3.10, I would say expect it next weekend or the Monday after that weekend. So anywhere from the 12th to the 15th, I would say expect it to come out then. And that would be when I would suggest it goes to Evocati. Apart from that, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. When do you think it's going to go to Evocati? When do you think it'll go to the wider PTU? Or when do you think it'll go to subscribers and concierge? Personally, like I say, I would say 12th to 15th for Evocati. And I would say probably the 22nd or the 29th for Wave 1 for concierge. I would say if they do it on the 22nd, maybe, or it'll be that week sometime. I would say probably later in the week, so 26th, and then probably released probably on the 3rd. I would say 3rd of July. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. It might even get pushed back a week for release date. I would be okay with that if they needed more testing. But let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I will see you in the universe. Have a great night. Enjoy yourselves. And stay tuned. There's big news coming. And all I can say is that, at the end of the day, we just, we got to be careful because we might face an extinction event. There's a hint there for someone. Have a great night, guys. See you soon. Big news coming.